After 10 years of adventures, I realized something. The biggest mistake I made at the beginning wasn't fear. It wasn't a lack of confidence or experiences. It was that I kept comparing myself to a version of me that didn't exist yet. The person who's doing the big trips, traveling alone, the person that seems completely confident with uncertainty. And looking back, I think that's a really easy trap to fall into because none of those people start there, and neither did I. Every big adventure I'd done started with something much smaller, something that at the time didn't feel like very important. But looking back now, I can see that the smaller adventures matter far more than what I realized at the time. I used to think adventure people were just different, more confident, more fearless, and more comfortable with uncertainty. But now I think that this confidence is built afterwards, one experience at a time, one lesson at a time, and one step at a time. One of my first solo trips was an organized trip tour in Scotland. Everything was planned. The route, the accommodation, the schedule. I just had to show up. And at the time, that felt exactly right for me. I wanted adventures, but I also wanted some sort of certainty. And Scotland gave me that. Looking back, Scotland was doing something I didn't understand at the time. I thought I was just visiting a new place, but what was actually doing, it was showing me that I wanted to travel. I realized I wanted more freedom, more independence, and more control over my own pace. I didn't just want to see places, but I wanted to experience them properly. So after Scotland, I didn't suddenly become fearless. I didn't book like a huge expedition. I just took another step. And one of those steps was Iceland. In Scotland, almost everything was planned for me. In Iceland, it was different. I rented a car, I had to decide where to go, and I had to figure it out for myself. And very quickly, I realized that planning your own trip doesn't mean everything goes to plan, especially in Iceland. The weather changed constantly. 1 minute, everything looks fine, and the next, it didn't. I remember one evening in particular, I had booked a B&B for the night, and the plan was simple. Drive there, check in, end of the day. But the storm was moving into the area and the conditions were changing, and eventually I realized I wasn't going to make it there. So I had to change plan completely, find somewhere else to stay, and let go of the plan I already had booked, and adapt. A few years earlier, that kind of situation would have really stressed me out. I would have felt like something had gone wrong, like the trip was failing somehow. But this time, I remember feeling something different. Not completely calm or like fearless, but capable. Like, okay, this is happening, let's figure it out. And that was new for me. Looking back, I didn't realize that at the time, but Iceland wasn't just teaching me how to deal with the uncertainty. It was preparing me for whatever came next. Then there was another lesson, self-trust. I remember arriving somewhere completely new on my own. I didn't know the area, I didn't know where anything was. And there was no guide, no organized schedule, nothing. Nobody that have already figured everything out for me. If I wanted to get somewhere, I had to figure it out. And I remember realizing something. I actually like that, because I was starting to trust myself. A few years earlier, that would have felt intimidating. Now it felt exciting. And looking back, I can see why. I wasn't starting from zero anymore. And when I look back in Scotland, Iceland, and the trip that came after, I started notice something. None of those trips were isolated experiences. Each of them seems teaching me exactly what I needed for the next one. Not perfectly, not intentionally, but that's what was happening. And looking back, I think that was my mistake at the beginning. I wasn't comparing myself to where I was comparing myself to where I wanted to be, to a version of myself that already done all those adventures, a version that had already learned all those lessons. The problem wasn't that I wasn't adventurous enough, it was that I was comparing myself to a version of myself that didn't exist yet. That's when I started seeing a pattern. I started thinking about it as an adventure ladder, not as a strict system, just a way of understanding progression. For me, it looks something like that. Level 1. Local adventures, a short ride, a ride somewhere new, a day exploring somewhere you've never been. Level 2. Overnight trip, weekends away, a little more uncertainty, a little more independence. Level 3. Bigger independence trip, solo travel, trips abroad, more decision, more responsibilities. And then level 4. The biggest adventures, the trips that once felt completely out of reach. But honestly, the levels are not the important part. What matters is that every step prepares you for the next one. And that's why I think many people struggle. They are not looking at the next step, they are looking at the top of the ladder. And the top of the ladder always feels impossible from the bottom. That's the part that changed everything for me. I stopped seeing adventures as one big leap and start seeing them as a series of small decisions. A local trip might teach you that you enjoy being alone. A weekend away might teach you how you plan. A short trip abroad might teach you how you react when things change. And slowly, those lessons start building on each other. So if I think about it now, I don't think confidence came first. I think evidence came first. Evidence that I could handle unfamiliar places, evidence that I could solve problems when plans change, evidence that I could be uncomfortable and still be okay. And confidence was simply something that built up afterwards. So if you're thinking about doing something adventurous, don't ask yourself, am I ready for the biggest version of this? But ask yourself, what's the step closer of where I am now? If you want to travel solo abroad, maybe the next step is a solo day trip. If you want to go backpacking, maybe the next step is a long ride somewhere new. If you wanna do a big multi-day adventures, maybe the next step is one night away. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It doesn't have to look big from the outside. It just needs to move you forward. That's how it started for me. Not with one huge transformation, but with a series of small steps that didn't always feel significant at the time, but now looking back after almost 10 years, I can see how much they matters. I share more reflection like this as I go, so if you like, you can stick around. The funny thing is, even after all these years and trips, I still get nervous before some adventures. Most of them, I still have doubts and wonder if things are gonna work out. For a long time, I thought confidence meant that feeling would disappear. But now, I think I am completely wrong, because the most adventure I do, the more I realize that that feeling never goes away. And honestly, I don't think it's supposed to. With time, I started noticing a pattern. Every adventure was leading to the next one. The adventure got bigger, but also the unknown. And sometimes I still get scared. More of that in the next video that you can check out here. Bye.